Hi guys, so on the 16th of June I went to the Elliebeth Designs meetup. It was an event for mainly probably aimed at planners, but a lot of the people in the planner community do journal as well. So I went to the event, I ran a workshop and also had a stall there. So this is probably one of the first events that I've been to where I was really able to vlog or video like loads of it. So I have videoed pretty much most of the event. Well, I would say most of the event. The event ran from 10 till 4, so this is only like 50 minutes video, so it wasn't the entire event, but you get the gist. So yeah, this is pretty much unedited, like full, as much as I videoed of the event. So I hope you enjoy it. I would suggest making a cup of tea beforehand, because as you can see, it is long. But you know, you don't have to watch it all in one go. You can kind of pause it and come back to it, that kind of thing. I handheld, so it's a bit shaky, and I was away from the speakers, so you may have to turn the volume up and down a bit. You know, just play around with it. As I said, I've just recorded it all for you guys, so you can experience what it's like to go to an event if you haven't actually been able to go before, and you kind of see me in more than just a head and shoulders, which is a little bit scary and daunting for me. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and hopefully it will encourage you to attend a planner event next year. Thanks for watching, guys.
Good morning. I feel like I should go, hello lovely people, which I did last year, so perhaps I should just make that my signature welcome. It is so nice to see you all here, and thank you for all of you making journeys, whether it's been just up the road, or whether, I know people have had all the journeys up the M6 yesterday, and some this morning, so thank you for making the effort. It is so good to see you here, and I think we're in for a really fun day, yes? Yes. I think it is going to be a good day. So, a couple of little bits that we're just going to whiz through, so housekeeping stuff first, and then I'm going to invite Nick to come and just tell you a little bit about what's going on over here, because believe you me, you don't want to miss what's going on over there. And then we're going to get straight on with our first workshop, which is so we'll see how that goes. So today, obviously you've got your shops are at the back. We have the Elliebeth stand is there. We've got Lottie. Where's Lottie's stand? Oh, she's right in front of me. There you go. Can't see what's under my nose. They always say you should hide at the front of the room, don't they? Yeah. Do that in spin class. Anyway, so we've got Lottie with all of her stamps and lovely goodies there, and we've got the lovely Anna from Mrs. Brimble's as well. Okay. Drinks and snacks are over there. You can help yourselves throughout the morning. Okay. Obviously, what I would say is if we've got somebody speaking, or somebody's actually delivering the input part of the workshop, you just stay in your seats, and then other times the stores will be open and you can go and browse for things if you find you need some more for what you're doing. Okay. So we have no fire alarm plan this morning. Sorry. So if it does go off, your exits are over there. They're over there. And just obviously get yourselves away from the building and opposite the car park. Okay. Yes, save the planners. I really should say don't, but yes. And the washi tape. We've got toilets just through there. There is only one ladies, but I'm sure we can queue. We're very good at that. Okay, and other than that, I don't think there's anything else I need to add. When it comes to lunchtime, lunch will be served in the cafe across the car park, so we'll be going through there for our lunch. And Julia has been working really hard to make sure we've got some delicious food later. So, Nick, do you want to come and tell us a bit about what you've got over there? So, this is really exciting. Can I just say this little section, really, is something that is quite important to me, and I just wanted to share with you. And I've titled it, Why Self-Care is the Most Important Thing on Your To-Do List. Okay. I joked that I should really bring a mirror because this week has been a bit of a crazy one. And I just felt like I should just stand here and talk to myself in the mirror because I am talking to myself as much as anybody with this. So what I wanted is, do we have anyone here that makes lists of things to do by any chance? Yeah, anyway, oh yeah, just a few then. And do we have anybody who is absolutely great at taking care of themselves? Okay, yay, good. Okay.
When you get older, you learn to prioritise.
Excellent, excellent. I must be aging quickly then. Oh dear. Anyway, so the thing is though, so do you then, because there's just you all that said yes, do you put self-care on the list of your things to do?
Yes, I do.
Excellent, brilliant. So for me, self-care is something that I've been really consciously working on and trying to prioritise for the past 9 to 10 months or so. Now, if you were here last year, I said that it was a phrase that I actually really hated. So there's an irony there, isn't there? But I've kind of been looking into it, and I turned, as ever, like we do, YouTube and Google, because that's what you do, don't you? You want to find something out, you go to YouTube or Google. And what I was finding when I started looking into kind of the meanings and things around it, it kind of confused me, because it seemed that self-care was almost always mentioned in the same breath almost as things like stress, worry, busy, hectic, emergency, emotional first aid. And I thought, goodness me, that's a bit full on. And it was often presented as the thing that would produce the opposite of these things. If we can just do it right, you'll have no more stress or worry in your life. Okay, so I've just added something else for me to try and achieve, another standard for me to try and live up to. And scanning through those titles and different articles, it made me think that unless I was in a place of stress, worry and crazy busyness, then I didn't need, or perhaps didn't deserve, self-care. I should be able to live as I am, because my life, yes, it gets busy, yes, it gets stressful, but compared with some things, I don't feel I'm in an emergency situation, okay? And it was sort of saying that there'd be no more stress, no more worry, and no more discord in our lives. I thought, discord. Now I like words, as Beth will tell you, she'll tell you, I love words, and the meaning of words and all of that. And the word discord, it's got its roots in the French, and it means a lack of connection to the heart. And when you think about the heart, you know, the health of the heart is so important. It's the first sign of life in an embryo. It's the first thing we look for. We literally cannot live without it. You know, you can survive without your leg. It's not going to be great, but you can survive. But your heart you need. And when we talk about it in our conversation, it's often seen as synonymous with our emotional centre and our emotions. You know, we talk about decisions as being head over heart, don't we? Or heart over head, quite often. And so many quotes talk about the heart. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Yeah, we use that. And sometimes the heart sees what is invisible to the eye. Pinterest is full of those, isn't it? And we all know, when we think about our bodies, that if we eat well, exercise our body, then our chances of illness and disease are lowered massively. So why do we, and especially women, I think this applies to, because my hubby, if I said to him, Luke, have you done any self-care this week? He'd kind of look at me and kind of, you what? But actually he would have done. He'd have been playing his Xbox, he'd have been doing stuff he enjoyed, he'd have been just sitting, looking out the window. He enjoys that. But we kind of allow our emotional health to get a little bit neglected. We don't look after our heart health. And we accept that actually living in that state of discord is okay. And even more, sometimes we elevate that state of discord as something to be admired. So often, the first response to how are you is busy. Anybody done that recently? How are you? I'm busy. Or, oh, just busy as normal. Yeah, it's either fine or busy. And we also say things like, I don't know how she does it all. She's super mum. They're so committed and talented, I couldn't be like that. And we elevate this thing of busyness and having loads of stuff going on and stress as actually, that's somebody who's really living life to the full. Now, I bet you can think of people you might say that of. Perhaps, and I would argue it's possibly slightly worse, you've been somebody that has had that said about them. And in all honesty, no one can do it all. No one can. And there are plenty of quotes out there that'll help you feel better about that too. There's things like, no one can do it all and do it well. Done is better than perfect. And whilst they're great in their intentions, don't get me wrong, that's fine, they don't actually tell us how to stop the overload, stop the discord, and put the balance right in the first place. They just kind of try and make you feel a bit better about all of it. Now, I was thinking about my children, my two girls, Eleanor and Elizabeth, from where we get the name Elliebeth. And they, I would say, are experts, absolute experts at self-care. When they're hungry, they eat. When they're tired, they sleep. When they need an extra hug, they ask for one. They love to be outside, they'll go and run as much as they can, they'll do things that they want to do, they enjoy, that make them feel good. Eleanor, my eldest, she will often take herself off to her room and she'll go and make things. You know, she's like, yeah, I'm having yarn time, Mum. Oh, what are you doing? Making pom-poms. All right, okay. And she'll just be there, curled up on her bed, stack of wool around her. She might have a Kindle on with something to watch. And she just enjoys that, and especially after a long day at school, if she's really been working hard and concentrating. You know, that's a whole other issue, isn't it, how hard our children work, and our teachers as well, definitely. So my kind of one top tip here, it's funny because me and Anna were talking about this a little bit this morning in passing, is that the way to get into self-care, I think, is to try and think like a child. It's not be childish, it's be childlike. Just leave that one with you whilst we think about the next little bit that I want to just talk about. Melody Beattie, she is the author of Codependent No More, and as a recovering codependent, I can tell you it's an excellent read. And she says that self-care is just an attitude that says, I am responsible for myself. Okay, so it's not a big, you know, fluffy concept, it's just saying, I'm responsible for me. And we all have so many responsibilities that are precious and necessary to us. Our families, work, studying, friends, church, homes, pets, 10-week-old puppy, big responsibility at the moment. And we make sure we look after those and we take care of those responsibilities, don't we? And we meet them. But I know that for me, unless I first looked after my well-being, my emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, all of that stuff, I can't take as good care of those other responsibilities. That's where you get your things like, you can't pour from an empty jug. Very profound, true. But you can't. If you're not in a good place, if you're not taking responsibility for your own wellness and self-care, you're not going to do as good a job as you could do for your other responsibilities. Now, I still sometimes feel really selfish and a bit wrong, and sometimes I feel really neglectful when I do something I enjoy rather than all of the rest of the to-do list and the things I feel I should be doing. But I would encourage you to stick with it, because over the past few months, those kind of things of, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because I should really go and do that, that has lessened, definitely. And instead, I value that time and those activities that I do, where I just go and do something that makes me happy, because that's all it is. It's just doing things we enjoy. But for me, it's often something creative, or it involves cake, or a brew, a bit of YouTube, Netflix, whatever, but just some time. And that just helps refresh and recharge, and it means that I then have more capacity for the rest of everything I need to do, because I've got more peace in myself, and that is just so valuable. And then you hit weeks like this week, and actually, because the tank was already pretty full, if you forgive another expression, this week has been okay. But you know what I'm doing on Wednesday, when Elizabeth is back at school after a rock? Yes, it's What's New Wednesday, yes, I'll do all that, but that'll get done. I'm going to have a few hours just for me, and I'm just going to go, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to do what's for me. The house can wait. It can wait. The emails, sorry guys, if you're emailing me on Wednesday, they can wait another day, and just take that time for me, because then on Thursday, I'm going to be ready to really hit the ground running again, and that's needed. Though not too much running, because it's junior sports day and I don't run. Eleanor can do the running. So, that for me is why self-care is the most important thing on the to-do list. Having that in mind means that the done is better than perfect, and my worth is found in what I do, those kind of mindsets, which still put the doing of the things at the top of the pile. They're kind of challenged, and over time I found they've been disproved. So I hope what I just shared today sparked some ideas or thoughts for you guys about what it might mean for you to have self-care, to practice self-care. It is practice, you can't do it perfectly initially. And I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to think about how you can make self-care a priority. If you've got a plan or a journal, it'd be a great place to write some ideas down. Because I think unless we spend time doing things that make us feel good, it's less likely we're going to feel good about ourselves. That's a whole other topic. So I'm going to leave it there with you. And maybe just have a think, what self-care look like for you, and how can you make it a priority? Okay, and then in about 10 minutes, I'm going to introduce the very lovely gentleman who's going to come and chat with us about our core values and different things. So,
on the tables were these little book of sticker rating that were gifted to us by Elliebeth. It was, as you can see, a book of stickers, and they're all so very beautiful, as you would expect from Rachel's designs. So thought I'd just do a little flip through for you. Excuse the shadow. I had some harsh light straight above my head. But yeah, absolutely beautiful stickers. And there was also a little goodie bag with some sweeties and some hand cream in. And yeah, just some really, really lovely little extras that just kind of added to the loveliness of the day, really.
she has a YouTube channel, blog, and you can find her on Instagram and Facebook too. And yeah, I would just like to welcome to stage and give her a warm welcome. Hi everyone. Okay, so this follows on perfectly from Rachel's talk just now. I want to talk about, just briefly, about your core values and the importance of having a mission statement in your life, or just core values. You can build a mission statement from those core values. I'm not going to bore you with what I've been going through personally, but in chasing my dreams, I've been going through some really tough times, but those tough times just highlight what I need to change in my own life. So things can happen again and again until in your life until you're able to sort them out and deal with them, and that change comes from within. So I was going through a particularly tough time. I was in the garden, and it came to me to just jot down, because I was feeling really lost and confused about things, and it just came to me to jot down all my core values, what's important to me. And if I just read out here so it makes a little bit more sense to you. So if you think about core values and mission statements together, a good personal mission statement needs to empower you. It needs to be integrated with who you really are, and this bit I've highlighted because this is what it did for me. But most importantly, it needs to hold you up when you feel like things aren't going well, and remind you of who you are and what you intend to do. Now, when you're going through a really tough time, it doesn't mean that you're doing things wrong. It just means that you are going in the right direction, in the right direction. You are doing things right. It's just these tough things highlight things in your life that need to be dealt with. And so for me, this mission statement and these core values really helped me to kind of be grounded, to know where I'm going, to not be lost. And it was like a touchstone. And another quote I've got here: a good personal mission statement can express what you hope your life and the way you live it says about you. It can be a reflection of what you want to put out into the world. Without listing specific goals, it can provide a guidepost that can lead you where you want to go in a way that's most meaningful to you. So when you're really going through a tough time, you're feeling lost, it's always good to have that touchstone, to have something to bring you back to like a meaning in your life. So what I did was, I'll read my core values out to you, and you have to do what Rachel said. You have to be childlike in it. You have to go back to that place where you're not worried about what other people think, and go back to what is really, really important to you. To write down your core values shouldn't be a difficult thing. It should be valuable to you. It should be something that, not what is important to other people, but what is important to you. So I made a note here, said that basically you shouldn't write down what you think, so like, look after my children, you know, it should be about yourself, about what is, I mean, I know children will be meaningful to you, but it has to be about self-care, because if you look after yourself first, then you can look after other people. So my core values, kind of radical, and there can be as many as you want. So I aimed for 5, I think I have about 7, and I've got here, free to be. Now these aren't in any particular order, it's just how I wrote them down. Free to be, freedom of self-expression, magic, and I've put underneath magic, spirituality, breakthroughs in wondrous ways, a world outside the norm, and I've put here that encapsulates that, world of wondrous. That's a really important statement to me, because I think that we have lost that sense of wonder, and I think and I know it sounds a bit old-fashioned wondrous, but I do think that we need to bring that back, that wonder to believe that there is more to life than just the norm every day, and to be as radical as we like with that. Creativity, self-expression, healing, discovering and growing by creating, and I've put brackets here, painting, writing, making things, etc. Inspire, encourage, lift up, motivate, share, love others in everything I do. Abundant life, abundance in all things, including money, full life, because like with money, we can have this negative thinking surrounding money. We can have like a lack mentality or poverty mentality, whereas life is supposed to be abundant. Love, and this must be at the core of everything we do. And then finally I put dream big, to always have dreams, some stretching beyond the realms of imagination and what we're told is possible. So for me, these are really, really important. This is, it kind of encapsulates everything. And then from that I can create like a mission statement, so I can say something like, I want to live a life of freedom of expression, always believing that the world can be wondrous, and to inspire, lift up, something along those lines. You don't have to write your mission statement today. What would be really important is to make a note of your core values, what is meaningful to you. And I carry just special things. I have stones with crystals in there that have meaning for me. I have like affirmation cards with affirmations and intentions on there. And I want to put in here my mission statement and my core values. So what we're going to do today is, this is a really good thing, by the way. So if you keep something like this in your bag and you're feeling low, just pull it out, and then you have a look inside, and it really lifts your spirits. It gives you something to strive for and just sort of remind you of who you are. And it's just a really good thing to carry around with you. Definitely good for like mental health. So in your bag, there's a little card in there that's so it has like a quote or an affirmation. That's just for you to carry around with you. And then you will have a tag, and on that tag, now you can do anything with these. I've got a load of stuff that I'm going to put on your tables, and you can decorate that tag with a word that has meaning to you, or a quote, anything on there. You don't even have to do that today. But with these, okay, let me show you what comes here. Right, this is one that I decorated. So they're like little cards with only a couple of pages in, because you don't need loads in there. It's not like a journal. But this is going to hold your core values and your mission statement, so you can carry it around with you. I have covered it in paper, which I really love, and decorated that. I've left it unstapled, but I have brought my stapler with me because you may want to add sheets to it. So I've added acetate to this one, and then, vellum, and then decorated the inside with watercolours on this one so I can write down my core values and my mission statement in there. And then once I'm done with that, I can staple it all together. There is an envelope if you want to keep it in the envelope, but you don't have to. And then that will go in my purse, and I'll carry that around with me. Now, the thing about your core values, or mainly your mission statement, is that it has to be flexible. So don't be rigid with it. Don't think that, oh, this is for life now, you know. You need to write down what's important to you now, but remembering that as time goes on and we go through different things, we grow as a person, and our core values may change a little bit, but certainly our mission statement will definitely change. So it needs to be flexible. You need to remember that that will possibly change down the road. So don't be rigid with this. And the point in creating these is to have fun and to link that having fun with your core values and your mission statement, what has meaning to you, so that you don't get tied up in that, oh, this is too hard, this is too difficult. You know, you need to just have fun with it. Now, with these, you don't even have to cut pictures out. You can just rip them, stick loads of bits of paper on there of colours that make you happy, like a collage, or you can just do this any way that you want. But the most important thing is to just make sure that you have your core values in there and that you do carry them around with you. Because I have found that with my ones here, when I'm having a tough day, if I refer back to this, if I refer back to these and I just read through them, it's like an instant hit of a boost to lift you up, you know? So, yeah, so I'm not going to bore you any longer. I'm going to go around each table. I've got a magazine.
So during the workshop, I did manage to work on a little tag. As most as I did with my core values is just write the title, because I was around friends and I was just busy chatting, and that was absolutely fine. That's something that I would continue to do now that I'm home. As with all planner events, we had some lovely stalls and everyone really enjoyed having a little look at all the lovely products in person, which is always a really, really nice thing to do. You can kind of touch things, smell things, and all that kind of good stuff. All fun.
Elliebeth Designs, Elliebeth Designs, Elliebeth Designs, Elliebeth Designs, Elliebeth Designs, Elliebeth Designs, Elliebeth Designs.
Our stamping techniques.
This is stuff at work and wanted to do it myself. So yes, I get illustrators on board from all over the world and they draw the stamps. There's no clip art used or anything like that. And I either do the brush lettering myself or use amazing fonts, just play around and yeah, kind of dipped my toe in the planner market and it kind of got a great response. So I'm still here a year later doing workshops and stuff. Obviously I get a lot of, oh, I don't really stamp, or I bought some wooden stamps, yeah, not really my jam. I've literally heard all the excuses. So let's just start afresh today and see how you get on today, all right? So you've got some pieces of card in front of you and kind of what looks like a pepper shaker pot. So if you kind of clear it out, so you've just got the card in front of you, although the shiny Centura side is beautiful, if you could turn it over and have the plain side, that would be great because of what we're going to do. Kind of shake it and then pass it around. It will look like you've barely done anything, like you just have little few flakes, but that's okay. It'll all make sense. So you can kind of play around with it a little bit. You can put as much as you want on, depending on what effect you want. You can blow it a little bit to blow the ink around. Completely up to you. This is your playtime. And if it all goes wrong, I have more card. I'm impressed with the results, so we're like, well, I hate this. Get this away from me. It's all good. Okay, so when you're kind of done with that and you're happy, I recommend blotting it off with the paper towel in the middle. If you need more paper towel, I do have some, so just shout. And when you blot it off with a paper towel, it kind of gives a pastel-y look. So you should have kind of something a little bit like this, so you can stamp.
That you say
Lisa-lot,
exactly. Now, I'm sorry, she hasn't come all the way over just to do our planner stack, unfortunately. Not in person, but I have her here with me. Yay! And she's going to give you a very, shall we say, detailed instructional video on how to do a planner stack. I am then going to hand over to the lovely Susanna and Sophie from my design team, and they are going to follow the instructions and we're going to do our planner stack, okay? So, here we go. Let's have a listen to Lisa-lot.
All Lisa plans are also known on the internet.
I'll go back to me, sorry Lisa.
Hello lovely people, big surprise, it's me Lisa-Lotte. All Lisa plans are also known on the internet. So I'm really sad I couldn't be at the Elliebeth Designs UK annual meet this year, but Rachel has asked me to connect with you in a fun digital way, and I'm really excited to be a part of this event. But there cannot be a planner event without the planner stack. Yes, so that's what I'm here for. I put on my architecture helmet, as you can see in this clip, and I'm here to help you get some tips and tricks on how to build a planner stack. Here is tip number 1. First things first, when you sort of flex your muscles, it's time to find a neutral background. So ideally you have to find a wall. Why I say wall? 1, it's really lovely, sort of solid background for the photos, not unimportant. And also a wall will help you with the build of your planner stack. Tip number 2, boxes. Boxes that can help you put your planners against, but they also mean that if you have planners stacked on the front, you can add boxes towards the back and you can put more planners on top of it, so you get a 2-level planner stack. Tip number 3. Then the next step is to decide your general shape. Do you want to make a wall of planners? Do you want to make a tower of planners? Or do you want to make a sort of squarey planner stack? You cannot be prepared enough. Tip number 4. This next step might feel a bit silly, but as a good mountaineer knows, you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. So I've actually prepared a planner stack so I can demonstrate what I mean. So you have to start at the bottom with the heavier planners and work your way up towards the lighter planners. And we're already at tip number 5, starting with the heavier planners at the bottom and working your way towards the lighter ones. But it's also good to have like coils and discs together so they don't damage all the leather planners that you can put on top. Especially as well, if you put a tiny cloth TN and squash it with an Erin Conran, it's not going to be a really nice planner from all anymore, okay? Remember that. Tip number 6. So another reason why I've put on my hard hat is to suggest you make interconnections. Here you see we've made quite neat rows on top of each other, but if you want to go for a more interconnectedness, or for instance have not a really nice backdrop as we had here, you might want to try interconnecting. So just with bricklaying, you put down a planner, you put down another planner, and put a planner in the middle of the 2 of them. So you get this sort of interlocking system that might benefit your planner stack. number 7, also what is fun, what we actually didn't do in this planner stack, is playing with vertical as well as horizontal. So in this one we've only put everything horizontally on top of each other. But it might be fun to, for instance, have a tiny row of vertically standing pockets and passport sizes. Planner stacks to get a bit more sort of funness in your planner stack. Tip number 8. So now we are actually at sort of the fun bit of the planner stack, which is stack all the planners. Get in there, have fun, try different things out, see what works for you, see what looks good, and have fun with stacking. Tip number 9. So then of course it's time to take all the photos. You stack the planners, everything looks good, you sort of make sure nothing is fallen down, carefully step back, angle your phone, take all the photos. Put everything on social media if you wish to, use the hashtag plannerstack, and of course all the hashtags that Rachel has come up with for this event. And tip number 10. So now we're at the final step, unstacking the planner stack. You've made the stack, you've taken the photos, now it's time to work from the top towards the bottom, the other way around to where we started, and just get all the planners carefully down, maybe lay them out, not on the floor, but maybe on a table nearby, and make sure everyone gets the planner back. So, and as always, don't forget to have fun with all the planners, all the stickers, and most importantly, all the washi.
There you go. So, I think we now... Liz-Lot is also known for her love of washi, of course. So, I think we now know exactly why she's known as the Planner Stack Queen, because I had no idea there was that much thought and architecture and building skill that went into it. So I hope, Sophie and Susanna, that you're up for this challenge. Okay. Is creating your own traveller's notebook insert with the very, very lovely Anna from Mrs. Brimble. So let's give her a warm welcome, please.
Hi everybody. Hello. Okay, so I don't know if anybody of you know me, but I'm probably best known for like being a YouTuber and doing YouTube videos, and people often think people on telly or YouTube, they're these really confident people because they're out there and they're putting themselves out there. But actually, I'm a big ball of bundle of nerves right now, and because like a lot of people, you know, I don't necessarily put myself first. I don't make time for myself, I let other things get to me, I'm an overthinker, all of those kind of things like everybody else, and just because you sit there in your little room doesn't mean, you know. So when I found out that the theme of this day was about self-care, looking after yourself, being yourself, that really resonated with me because for the longest time I used to be this amazing, fun-loving person who wasn't shy, I didn't let anything get to me, and I was really confident and really outgoing and really out there. And over time, little things chip away at you and get you down a little bit, or you take them to heart, and I just let life get to me a bit. And I'm starting to reclaim that back now, and part of that. Yeah, I'm not going to go into like a whole huge like how I got to this point and what I'm doing now, because it's kind of like all over YouTube. But one of the things that really is helping me get back to the person that I used to be is journaling and creative journaling. And in particular, this journal here has got a lot of that stepping forward into becoming myself again. And I wanted to kind of inspire all of you lovely ladies to kind of take up a bit of creative journaling if you don't already, just for you know, whether it's recording your own memories or your feelings or thoughts, anything like that, anything that kind of gives you a bit of you time, a bit of, you know, your self-care space, all of those kind of good things. And about documenting your journey, so kind of like bouncing off from Geraldine, she gave you, so Rachel kind of talked to you a bit about self-care and the importance of self-care. Geraldine has kind of given you a little snippet that you can do to carry around with you, and now I want you to take that a bit further by making your own traveller's notebook to start your creative journey and start your own journey or wherever that's kind of taking you. And so we're going to make our own traveller's notebook today, and hopefully we'll put a photo, or ask you to bring a photo, something that resonates with you, something that makes you feel good or really speaks to you, anything like that, because I want you to start today in that notebook that you've made, your very first creative journal page. It can either be memory keeping, you know, so talking about why this is a really nice memory for you, or why you've chosen this photo, what it is about that photo that really means something to you, because obviously you've chosen that photo, so that really must speak to you. So we're going to start by making the inserts. I'm just going to do my talk first, and then I'm going to leave you to get on with it for the rest of the time, but obviously I'm going to be around, so don't be shy. I'm just as shy, so don't be shy. If you need help, I'll come around and see you. So, in front of you should have a 12 by 12 envelope each. Now the envelopes, they are yours to keep. If you'd like to keep them for storing your 12 by 12 scrapbook papers, you're free to keep them, they are yours. But if you don't want to lug them home with you, then just leave them on your table and I'll take them away. Inside, you should have a variety of things to help you to make your insert. So you should have a couple of 12 by 12 sheets of scrapbooking paper. The artwork that you're looking at, apart from the little pack of die cuts, all the artwork is my own hand. And it's a summer happy theme, because I want to try and start getting you thinking of like happy thoughts. So you have a couple of scrapbook papers there, you should have some acetate and a 12 by 12 journal card cut apart, some die cuts and washi tape each. On the table for you to share is a little chart like this. Now this is pretty much the most popular traveller's notebook sizes. This is half a sheet. So you've got a little template there, but obviously if you already use a traveller's notebook and you've got it with you, you can use that insert to trace around so you get the exact same size. But if you don't have it with you, then hopefully this little chart will be able to help you. If you don't use a traveller's notebook, I suggest you make an A5 sized notebook. So hopefully you'll know what the size an A5 is. So what you've got there is various different colours. That's just half a sheet. So obviously if you're making a pocket, which is the red size, that's just one sheet. So you need to do it double the size. Does that make sense to everybody? Good. And hopefully you all brought scissors with you as well. So in your patch you should have just some normal copy paper. I do have more copy paper if you need it. And you're probably thinking, well, I've got my scrapbook paper, that's great for the outside. What do I do with the rest of the stuff? Now, I always make my own inserts, and I've brought a few with me so that you can have a little nosy. If you want to have a look at my journals, you are free to do so. I'll leave them around. The only thing I do ask is that, because they are my personal journals, is that you don't photograph them and share them anywhere. That's the only thing I ask. And I do have photos of my daughter, and my daughter's not allowed to be on social media for several reasons. You probably all know my daughter. So that's the only thing I ask. You're welcome to look at them, it's just, don't photograph them. So what I do is I use some pretty scrapbook paper for the outside. Now when it comes to the outside of your cover, you want to make it just a few millimetres longer than your other pages so that you've got enough for a bit of an overhang. If you make it too small, when it wraps around, it'll be a bit too short and you'll see all the pages sticking out. If any of this doesn't make sense, the trouble is I do this all the time, so I'm like, oh yeah, you just cut that, whack it in, ta-da. I actually sew my inserts, but for ease I bought some long-handled staplers, so hopefully you've all got access. I think there's just one table who doesn't have one, so hopefully you can share amongst yourselves. So when it comes to making your insert, you need to just lay all your papers flat and then put it in and staple it. And I haven't given you lots of paper so that hopefully it should staple through. It does take quite a few staples. So the rest of the items that you've got then, some of the things I like to do is I like to make my inserts a little bit more interesting. So I will bind into the insert some scrapbook paper so that I've already got some backgrounds ready to work with. Do any of you do any sort of scrapbooking? A few of you. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about then. So this is my Christmas insert. So I already bound straight in some patterned scrapbook paper. So I've already got 2 pages there with a background all ready to go. And obviously it goes through to the other side as well. But I've got a few of those in there. Also, with the 12 by 12 cut parts, I like to bind them in as well. So it's quite hard to show you and hold a microphone. So if you look at your cut apart, you'll notice that you've got like a 3x4, a 6x4, or a 3x4. What I do is I cut along, so you've got like the 3 in a row, then I will fold one over. So hopefully you can see. So it's bound in. So you've got a. I'll just shout. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'll cut it across and I will bind it in and then fold one over. So it's a bit interactive. So that when you're looking through, when you're looking through your journals and there's another one, it flips out. So as you can see, like those are 2 3x4 cards. So if you look at your cut apart, hopefully like down the bottom you can see 3x4, or in the middle you've got 2 3x4s together. That's what that would look like, folded, and then the 6x4 goes through to the other side, there. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I just like to do that because I think it just makes things like a little bit more interesting. So as you can see on these, I've left them just because I think they look pretty. Then on the reverse, I've got some photos and some bit of journaling and things like that. So I like to kind of add interactive elements in as well. I like to add things in. People call them tip-ins. Have you heard of the phrase tip-in? So that's why you've got some washi tape. So if you want to tip in some cards, so you've got your 3x4 cards, a bit of washi tape on one side, a bit of washi tape on the other side, and then you've got another little interactive element in your journal. Like so. Those, if you're binding them into the spine, which I really like doing because I think it kind of pushes your creativity a bit and forces you to use them. You need to do that like now, but if you wanted to do any tip-ins, obviously you can save them for later on whilst you're journaling, that kind of thing. I also really enjoy adding other materials into my traveller's notebook. So I've given you an acetate. I also like adding an acetate into my journal. They're clear, so they just kind of give like another little like a little dimension, something a bit more interesting to kind of look at when you're looking through your journals. As I said, you're free to look through these. I've got a vellum in there, just again is like a little transparent overlay. So yeah, does that all make sense in terms of making your own traveller's notebook inserts? Yeah. Good. If you're too shy to ask, then let me know and I'll happily help you. I'm going to leave you alone to make your own insert. And then once you've made your own insert, obviously everyone who works at their own pace, take your photo and stick it onto the page, use your embellishments, use your washi tape to decorate around your photo and write about what that photo means to you, why you've chosen that photo, or a memory that photo evokes, something about you. So taking on board everything that has gone before you today, that Rachel and Geraldine have spoken about, perhaps use some of those concepts for your journaling. And if you need any ideas or anything, come and have a look at my journals or if anyone on the table doesn't mind sharing their journals with you, if they created a journal, then have a look at theirs. So have fun. So that's it, guys. It was an amazing day and thoroughly enjoyed myself. Totally recommend going to any event really, but definitely the Elliebeth event again. It was amazing, such a lovely day, and it was so nice to meet everybody. So I hope you enjoyed. Take care, guys. Bye.